And of course, the garbage truck would come right as I start filming. Alright, it's gone. Where my apartment is, it's really not the best spot. It is so noisy because there is the parking lot directly in front of my window. There's also the road that is on this side. The garbage truck is just right next to my apartment. Also, there's a playground in my apartment complex that is right across from my window. So it's just constant noise all the time. Why is it still so hot out? It's like November and I'm like in shorts. Ugh. Anyway, hello all, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley. Hi, how are ya? In today's video I have for you guys is a book haul. Speaking of noise. Yes, I went to Barnes & Noble. This is not all one Barnes & Noble trip. This was like 2 or 3 Barnes & Noble trips. Because I don't know why, I feel like if you go there like just several times, if you go there like 2 or 3 times and buy just like a couple books each time, it doesn't feel like you're spending as much if you were just to buy all of the books in one trip. Even though I know that's not true, you're still spending the same amount of money, but it feels like you're spending less because it's not all at once. Anyway, let's just get right on into it. I did buy quite a few books, but I will say, they're not all for me. One of them was a Christmas present for my mom. I still bought plenty of other books for myself, but one of them is not for me. I don't even know if I had like the intention of buying any books. I think I just went in there and I know the last time I went in there, I just blacked out and I walked out with like 5 books in my hand. But yeah, so I don't think I intentionally went in to buy any books, but I got several. So let's just get into it. First book I'm going to show you guys is probably the one that I'm most excited for, because I've been trying to find this book for the longest time. And that is Bitter by Akwaeke Emene. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. If it's not, I apologize. But I've been trying to find this book for the longest time. It is a prequel to a book that she had written a while ago, Pet. This is a prequel book to a book that she had written a while ago called Pet. That genuinely is my favorite book I have ever read ever. It is such a good book. I honestly think that they should like that should be like mandatory reading in schools, because it is such an incredible book. And I've been trying to get a copy of Bitter, the like prequel book to it, for the longest time. So I'm so glad I finally found a copy of it. Talks about how Bitter met her husband and like the forming of that relationship. It's about like her in art school, and also like in the first book it talks a lot about how the world that the parents grew up in is not the same world that is going on now, like how Pet lives. There was a lot of, I guess, what's referred to in the first book as like monsters. But yeah, it talks about how like the fight that like the past generation really had to put in to like make the world a safer place for their children. Next up is The Year I Stopped Trying, a novel by Katie Henney. And this one is about this girl. She's in high school and she like top tier student, always gets straight A's, like never gets in trouble, always follows the rules, like very like on it. And then one day she ends up like turning in a paper, like it was like late or misses an assignment, and like nothing really happens. Her grade really like doesn't change much, which like if you have like straight A's and everything and you miss one thing, it's really not gonna affect anything. But then she realizes, oh, like nothing happened, like I didn't get an A on a paper, the world did not stop turning. So I guess she just kind of like gives up. Well, not gives up, but just kind of like is realizing like I don't have to be like absolutely perfect and on it about everything. I honestly just like read the title of the title of the book and was like, oh, I get this book. This seems like something I would enjoy. And then next up I have One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Like, honestly, what can I say about this one? I feel like everyone loves Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've never heard anything bad or negative about any of her books that she's written. So, and I definitely would like to read them all. So I just picked one. And I heard that this one is like a little emotional as well. Emma and Jesse, they are high school sweethearts. And then on their first wedding anniversary, Jesse was like flying a helicopter, or was in a helicopter, and then it goes missing over the Pacific Ocean. So Emma ends up moving back in with her parents, moving back to her hometown, and then she meets Sam. After a while, she gets engaged to him, and then like right after they get engaged, Jesse is found. So now she has to pick between who her true love is. Next up is The Girls We Sent Away by Megan Church. And this book, first off, it's set in the 60s. And for me personally, anything that's set in like the 60s or 70s, instantly intrigued. I love that time period so much. Like, if I could go back and like live in any other time period, it would probably be like the 70s, 60s, that area. But yeah, it's set in the 60s in North Carolina. The main girl, Lorraine, it describes her as kind of like the girl next door type, and then she ends up getting pregnant, so her family sends her away to this maternity house. And then historically speaking, just from this situation alone, I'm guessing not good things are going to be happening in that maternity house. She must decide if she has the power to fight for the future she wants, or if she must submit to the rules of society she once admired. Next up, A Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I have been wanting to get this book for so long. It just sounds so cute and cozy. I saw this on TikTok for the first time, I think last year, beginning of this year. So I've been wanting to read it for the longest time. I love anything that's cute, cozy, witches. Love it. And I'm also currently filming a cozy fantasy fall reading vlog, so I'm definitely going to be adding this one to that video. A warm and uplifting novel about an island of witches whose opportunity to embrace a quirky new family and a new love changes the course of her life. Okay, so I have never read a hockey romance before. I know. So I was in Barnes & Noble. I wasn't really planning on picking one up this time, but I don't know, something about the cover got me. The Game Changer by Lana Ferguson. So Ian is a hockey player, just went through a very public breakup, which seems to have really affected the perception of the team. And then Delilah has her own baking show on the local network. She is also Ian's teammate's younger sister, so that'll be interesting. So they decide to team up and start fake dating. To try and boost both of their reputations and the ratings for both the show and the hockey team. And next up, this is the one that I got from my mom, so we won't show that one. And then next up is Boy Parts by Eliza Clark. Exiled from the art world and on sabbatical from her dead-end bar job, Irene obsessively takes explicit photographs of average-looking men she persuades to model for her, adopted from the streets of Newcastle. But her talent has not gone unnoticed, and Irene is invited to display her work at a fashionable London gallery. It is a chance to revive her career and escape from the brunt of drugs, alcohol, and extreme cinema she's fallen into. Yet the news triggers her self-destructive tailspin. Centered around Irene's consuming relationship with her best friend and a shy young man from her local supermarket who has attracted her attention. Then I have When We Lost Our Heads by Heather O'Neill. Marie Antony is the daughter of the richest man in the 19th century, Montreux. She has everything she wants except for a best friend, until clever, scheming Sadie Arnett moves to the neighborhood. Immediately united by their passion, Marie and Sadie's games soon become tinged with risk, even violence. Forced to separate by the adults around them, the two spend years engaged in acts of alternating innocence and depravity. When a singular event brings them back together, their dizzying effects will upend the city. And then the last book I got was Mortal Fallacies by Alexis Hall. First off, look at the cover. It's so pretty. I love it so much. I believe she has a second one. I don't know if it's like part of a series or maybe like it's a standalone series. The artwork from the second one is very similar to this one. And then this one is The Girls by Emma Cline. And then this one is set in the 60s. North California during the violent end of the 60s. It says she sees these group of girls in a park and she just like loves their energy, how like they're like really free spirited, really drawn to one in particular, so she ends up drawn into the circle of a soon-to-be infamous cult. Obviously not really realizing, like, she ends up getting drawn into these people and like joins their group. It ends up being a cult, and then things really take a turn that she was not expecting, and then they get a little violent. So yes, that was that. I almost ripped the back cover off. So yes, that was that book. So I decided to pick up this one first. It is set in 1814, and the main character is Miss Maisley Mitchellmore. It's like the night of. It's like the first night that she's like introduced to society, it sounds like, and like things keep going wrong. Her dress basically just like falls apart like randomly over the night, and she needs to find someone to help her like fix it. Ends up going to Miss Georgina Landrake, and she may or may not have killed both her father and her brother to be able to inherit her family's wealth. It also says that she's a witch. So Maisley and Georgina end up having to work together to try and see if they can lift this curse that's seemingly been put on Maisley. So yes, that is that one. And like I said, the cover is just so pretty. Those were all of the books that I got throughout a few Barnes & Noble trips. So yes, I got, how many books did I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9, and then 1 was a gift that didn't show you. So 10 books overall. But yes, that was my book haul. Those are all the books that I've bought recently. If this has inspired you to go and buy out any of these books, let me know. Or if you have read any of these books, please let me know in the comments. Really appreciate if you liked and commented on this video. And if you want to follow along and see me read any of these books, you should definitely subscribe to my channel. So yes, that was today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye guys!